So today lecture is about the building graphical user interface in MATLAB environment. So this is one of the advanced features of MATLAB to create a graphical user interface software so that anyone can use this software and install it in his or her computer, and they can also upload the exe file, because this feature can also create an exe file of the program that you create. And this user interface uh, will be very helpful uh, when we have to share our program with some other external user. So this lecture is requires some prerequisites. The prerequisites are from the very beginning of this FDP. The first lecture was about the introduction and fundamentals of MATLAB. So and further on the day 2 and further sessions, also the plottings of graphs and about the programming in script file and writing M files were also discussed. So these are all the prerequisites for this session, because plotting graph and writing code in script files, writing functions will be required to create a graphical user interface in MATLAB environments. So to create a graphical user interface, there is one command which is useful in MATLAB, and this command. What is the purpose of this command? The purpose of this command is that it will take you to the environment where you can uh, create your whole graphical user interface. So this command is guide command, GUIDE, guide. So in order to initialize the graphical user interface platform, you need to type guide command in the command window. So I also request from the participants that they have to be interactive, and they can write the code simultaneously with me, so to better understand this particular session. And it is also required to work simultaneously, because there are many advanced functions and many advanced features that you come across in this graphical user interface uh, platform. So to initialize this platform, you have to type a command, that is guide command. So write GUID, guide, in the command window and hit enter. Okay. So once you do this, a dialog box will open. This dialog box is guide quick start. Okay. So here you can see that there are two buttons. First is create new GUI. GUI means graphical user interface. So here are some options. So some templates are given. First is blank GUI. So this will be the blank GUI, blank graphical user interface. And on that graphical user interface, uh, what needs to be done? You have to put all of the buttons, pop-up menus, and various features on the blank command window. So this is like building an application from the scratch. Okay. Second is uh, second is graphical user interface with UI controls. Okay. Uh, Before going further, first let me also tell you one thing I forgot. First, to start, before writing this command guide, first browse a folder, a working folder, where all of your programs or your graphical user interface program will be stored. Okay, so make a separate folder for that. Name it the whatever will be the name of your program. In this case, the name of the program that I have chose is GUI test. Okay, so this is for the for a demo type program. Okay, so I have named it as GUI test. So whatever the name you like for your program to be, you can name that folder. Okay, and then browse that folder over here. Okay, in your MATLAB. So once you browse this folder, then all of the files will be stored in that folder. Okay, so this is the first step. Then hit guide. Okay, write guide in the command window and hit enter. Okay, so I was explaining this menu, guide templates. So blank is like the building the software and or an application from the scratch. Second is GUI UI controls. Is graphical user interface with user interface controls. Okay, so here you can see a template or a preview of this template to the right. Okay, here some measures units are mentioned. So this is a template where you can also add with the help of this already created menu, you can create your own buttons and you can do the programming. So this is a template. Another template is GUI with access and menu. Here this template is including a pop-up menu, a menu, a button, and access, a plot. Okay, so if someone do not want to create an application from the scratch, and if he or she wants to create uh, a, a plot application that can plot the various expressions on the plot, so he can use this template. And this template is about the modal question dialog. If you want to design a dialog box, a question dialog box, so this is the template for the question dialog box. Okay. The next button is open existing GUI. So if you have any existing graphical user interface in your folders, so you can browse the existing GUI from here. Okay, so if there are no already existing graphical user interface, so there will be no options given. In my case, there are two graphical user interface are present, so this is showing this uh, option. Okay, or you can browse it from here. Okay, you can click this browse button. If you have already saved GUI in your computer, you can browse it to that and you can import it. Okay, the extension for the GUI is .fig, F-I-G. Okay, this is the extension. So we want to create a new GUI, new graphical user interface from the scratch. So select this blank GUI and press OK. Okay. So before click OK, save new figure as and name it over here. If you name it over here, it will save the figure. For this case, I name it as GUI test. Okay. This is optional. You can also uncheck this, and later on you can name it and save it. Or if you want to save it now, just check this box and rename it. Okay, it's better to use the same name as the name of the folder that you have created. Okay, use the same name. So GUI test is the name of this GUI in this case, and press OK. It is not mandatory, it is optional. You can uncheck it and save it later on. Both are good. Okay, so press OK. So once you press OK, there are two windows will open. The first window is the editor.
Sir, sorry to interrupt you. There
Yes.
is a participant asking you to shift your window bit to see a command.
Sorry, I
Sir,
cannot hear you.
sir, can you shift the pop-up window so that to see a IC can command window?
To see the command window.
Yes, sir.
Is
Is
it
it
okay
okay
now?
now? Yes, command.
In command window, there is only one command, that is guide. Okay. So once you write guide, uh, this this window will open, the previous window that I was showing. Okay. So in command window there is nothing, just guide. Okay. Write guide and press enter. Okay. So once you save your figure and uh, choose the proper format or proper template, uh, then press OK. You will find two windows. Okay. The first window is the editor window. Okay. In editor window, you will find various functions. Okay. Just quickly browse it, quickly go through it. Don't bother about these commands right now. Okay. So this is the editor window. I will come back to this editor window later on. The second is the GUI test window. GUI test means, in this case, this is GUI. Whatever will be the name of your program, this will be shown over here. Okay. This is the editor for your application. Here you can put all the buttons, all the menus, all the pop-up menus, everything, whatever you want to make it in your application, represent it in your application, you can put it over here. Okay. So this window will be very useful while creating the uh, application from the scratch. Okay. So I will quickly go through the options, context menus and other menus. The first is not going. The first is file option. Okay. In file option, you will find new, open, close, save, save as, export, preferences, print, and other options. Okay. So take a good look at this option, at this menu. Okay. This is a menu. There are various options given in this menu bar. The first one is file. So take a good look, and what is happening when I click this file, because why I'm telling you this, because I would also like to create this type of menu in my application. Okay. So I will discuss this, how to create this menu bar in our own application that we are building right now. Okay. So what are the options? You can take help from this already existing menu in MATLAB. What are the options that are given? The options are new. The first one is new. Once you click this new, this will uh, prompt you to the to building the new GUI. Okay. So this will be the new option. Open. With this, you can open your existing GUI. Close. Once you hit close, this particular window will get closed. Save. You want to save your work, you hit save. Save as, if you want to save your application in other format, you can do this. And export. If you want to export your window, you can do this uh, with selecting this option. And preferences. Here you can choose your preferences. Then comes the edit window. Okay. There are different views, layout, and tools. Okay. So this option is very important. Okay. So I will come back to this tools options. And another one is very important, that is help. Help. While building a GUI, we have to be sure that we have to be clear enough in our programming that if when you share your code or share your software with the user will be able to use that software. It will be easy to use. Okay, it should be user friendly. Sometimes the user cannot understand what to do with the features, so there the help is required. Okay, so we will also like to create a help menu in our GUI. Okay, on the left of this panel there are various options. The first option is a push button. When you hover over this menu, you will find the tag. This tag is showing that it is a push button. Okay, so how to add a push button? Just hold this uh, hold this icon and drag it in your editor. Okay, so I am just holding it and dragging it over here. Drag it over here, resize it so that it will be readable. Okay, so this is a push button. The purpose of the push button is that once you click this button, whatever will be the commands or whatever will be the function of this button, this will do that for you. Okay, so the button is just to click this, and whatever the commands you have provided for this will do that. Okay, so I have put a push button. I have provided a push button over here, and double click it. Once you double click, you will find various options related to this. Background color. Here you can choose the background color of your button. Okay, so you can give any color you like. Suppose you choose this color, it will become pink. If you choose this color, it will become blue, and like this. Okay, so let me give you this color so that it will be easily readable. Okay. There are various options, button down function and other. I will come back to this one. There are font name, the font that you want to choose for your button, the font size, font units, where there are various options. And here, this is the important one. You have to name your button. Suppose you are creating a submit button. So once a user click a submit, the whatever information will be given to will be provided by the user, it will get submitted. So suppose you want to create a submit button, or you want to create a button to navigate it to the next page of your software. So you can write next. So, or you can provide a back button, or you can provide a plot figure button. So whatever will be the function, you just have to name your button over here. Okay, so I just name it, say okay. Okay, or I just rather say submit. Okay, and press OK. So the name of your button is submit. Okay, the style of this button is push button. Do not change this, remain it as, because it is a type of push button. So do not change this. You can change your tag. Okay, so better to write the tag it as submit, because it is a submit button. So I am editing it as a submit button. Okay, now coming back to over here, callback and button down function. This option, button down option, is provided. This adds the features to your button. Once, what will happen when you right click it? Okay, so if you provide this function, button down function, so when you right click that button, so it will go back to this command, button down function, and whatever the commands you have provided, it will do that. Okay, so it is used when you right click the button down function. Callback is the command when you press your button, so it will go back to the callback function, and whatever the code you have written in your callback function, it will execute that. Okay, so let us provide both the features. I'm providing the callback feature. Okay, and also just click it over here. Okay, you will, this will navigate it to the editor window. Here editor window, you will find a function named submit. So this name, remember we have provided this name in the tag option. Okay, this is the tag option, submit. So whatever the tag you provided, this will name your function with that name and callback. Since this is a callback function, so it is written as your tag. So the tag is submit underscore callback. It is representing that this is a callback function. So once you click this, whatever the, suppose this is a button, once you click this button, it will go back to this callback command, and whatever commands you write over here, it will be executed. Suppose to make it a simple example, I just write a simple command, a display command, enter your name. Okay, enter your name. I have provided display command. To make it simple, I am just taking a simple example so that it will be easy to understand. Okay, I'm not providing here complex commands and complex loops and all. Okay, I'm just providing simple commands. So this is, so I have, what will happen once the user click, left click, okay, left click this button, what will happen? It will go back to this function and it will execute this command. Okay, if you do not write any command over here, then nothing will happen because there is nothing to be executed. Okay, so provide it. Now I also want to provide another utility, another feature. What will happen when we right click it? So just click over here. Okay, once you click over here, it will go back to the editor window. In editor window, you will find out a function named submit. This is the tag underscore button down function. Okay, so for button down function, again I would like to give a simple command. Would like to give a simple command that display say your designation. Okay, just for the sake of simplicity, I am taking this example. Okay, but in real example, in real application, the feature of right clicking is slightly different. So we will come back to that also. So these are the things that we need to edit. First is the type. What type of button is that? So you name it. If it is a submit button, you name it accordingly, and tag it to just to remember what type of function you are creating. Then the callback function, click over here, or if you want to provide a right click function, then you click it over here. If you don't want to provide a right click feature, just don't put anything over here. Okay, don't click it. Or if you accidentally click it, just leave this function blank. Okay, so nothing will happen when somebody right click it. Okay, so I close this. So to check whether my button is working correctly or not, I hit run. Okay, so this green arrow, I press this, I right click this one. So okay, so this is my GUI, nothing on the window, just a single button. Okay, so if I click it, it should display that enter your name. So I'm clicking it. So see, in the command window, it is executed. It's saying enter your name. Okay, now let's see what will happen when I right click it. So right click it, it should say your designation, and in the command window it is saying that what your designation. So both the functions are working correctly. Our button is okay. So for this example, I have just chosen this function. Okay, so you have to program it accordingly. Whatever will be the feature of your program, you have to program it accordingly. Okay, So coming back to the editor, next is a slider button. Okay, a slider. So let's drag it over here. Slider is used in many programs, just like to slide. This is a slider, and right click right end of this window, you can find us. This is an example of slide. Okay, or a volume button. So in many applications, we require this type of button. So you can provide a slider button. Okay. So similar to the push button, you can double click it and provide the string. Okay. So whatever will be the utility of this particular button, you just name it accordingly, tag it accordingly, and provide the callback function. And if you require to provide a right click feature, so just provide the button down function also. Okay. So it will be very similar to the push button. A slight difference is that here, since the working of this button is to slide. Okay. So you have to select your option while sliding it. Okay. Suppose there is a range of values from 0 to 10. Okay. And you want to select the maximum value, or you want to select some intermediate value. So you slide this one. Okay. You slide this button. So here you have to provide your minimum and maximum values. Okay. To navigate this button. Okay, so let me show you minimum and maximum values. Yes. Over here, you will find maximum and minimum value. So whatever will be the minimum value and whatever will be the maximum value, you just provide it over here. So once you click this, it will select that values. Okay. So let me show you its utility. I am providing a callback function. Okay. Now, to make it very simple, I am just using the hints given in the editor. Okay. So let me give you a brief introduction to this editor. What is this editor is about? This is the main GUI test function that you have created, your main application. Here are some introduction given in this comments. Okay, you can go through it. Then remember, here it is the begin initialization code. Okay, so here are some commands that are required for the initialization of this particular app, okay, or particular GUI. So here, do not edit anything in this initialization function. Okay, do not edit. Here it is also written that do not edit it, because it is required to execute your or initializing your app. Okay, initializing your GUI. Here it is the main function, GUI function. Okay, leave it. Okay, this is the function that you have created, the submit button. Okay, this is this function. This is the submit button down function, and this is the slider callback function. So in each function, you will see some comments written. This function, the argument of this function is H object, event, data, and handles. Okay. H objects is a handle to this button submit. Okay. Event data, it is reserved. There is no utility of this argument. And handles. Okay. Handles are used. These are the structures, and whatever the data provided by the user of your GUI, that data will be stored in these handles. Okay. So these are the three arguments.
Sorry to interrupt you, Mr. Muhammad Danish. There is one question from the attendee. What is the difference between callback and button down function?
Okay. Let me show you this one. This window appears when you hit run button. Okay, this is the run button. Okay, whatever GUI you are creating, once you hit this, it will appear like this. Okay. So if I click this button, okay, left click this button, okay, the left click of your mouse. So when you click it, this click will tell this function to go to the callback function. This is the callback. You are calling this button. It's like that you are calling this. Once the user left click it, it means you are calling this function. Na? So it will go to this function. And whatever the commands you write within this function, it will be executed. And if you leave it blank, nothing will happen. Okay. So just to show you, I'm leaving it as blank. Okay. I'm leaving it blank. Okay. This command is hidden now. And now let me show you my command window. What will happen? Let me clear this all. Now left click it. Okay. Now you can see nothing is happening in the command window. There is no command executed. So I'm calling this function, and this is going to this callback function. When I'm clicking this, it is going to this function, and this MATLAB is finding that there is nothing provided here within this function. So nothing is happening. Okay, nothing is happening. Once you start providing the command, suppose I write x equal to 1, 2, okay, 3, 4. Suppose I write it like this and save it. Now try to click this. So once I click this, left click it. Okay, right now you have to left click it. Left. So once you click it, it will go to the callback function. It will find out what are the commands written over here. The command it will find it x is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, and this command will be executed. So see in your command window, you will find the answer x is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. It is a 2 by 2 matrix 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So this is the answer of your first question. What is the callback function? The answer to your second question, what is a button down function? Now, what will happen when you right click it? Okay. So now when you, similar to the left click, once you right click it, it will tell the MATLAB to go to the button down function. It will come over here and it will search for the commands. Now the command which is written over here is your designation. Suppose I hide this command. Now there is nothing within this function. So when I right click it, nothing should happen. Okay, so let's see what is happening. Now right click it, nothing is happening. This is the previously executed command, and now there is nothing happening. So once you right click it, the MATLAB will go to the button down function, and whatever the commands are written, it will be executed. Okay. Suppose again I write it over here, y is equal to 5, 6, 5, say 1, 2, 10. Okay. Let's say this one, and right click it. So it will create a vector from 1 to 10. Okay. So because now there is one command and it will be executed. So I hope this answers the question. Okay. So we were discussing, yes, this one. So slider button. Okay. So to make it simple example, I am just using the commands provided in the hint. You will find two commands: get h object value returns position of the slider. So what does it mean? Now let me first run this. Okay, I am running this. Okay, so now your button, this slider button, is visible over here. Now suppose I slide this button over here. So this is the position of your button. Okay, so this get object value will get the value, whatever will be the value of this position of the slider. Okay, this will be stored over here in get object value. Okay, so suppose, let me write this command. Say x is equal to this command. Okay, and I am leaving it without semicolon intentionally, so to see in the command window whether it is working properly or not. Okay, but it's not a good practice to leave your expressions without semicolon. Always close your expressions and your commands with the semicolon wherever it is required. Okay, it is not a good practice, but here intentionally I am leaving it so that I can see my commands in the command window. Okay, so I'm leaving it like this, and now I'm moving my slider. Okay, so here now you can see when I move the slider, it is showing x equal to 0.5805. So this is the value equivalent to the position, this position. Okay, if I slide it over here, it is the maximum position, and the maximum which we provided was 1. So now it's showing x equal to 1. Okay, and if you provide it over here, it is the minimum value, and the minimum value we provided was 0. So it is now x equal to 0. So this is how this slider works. Okay, so it is used in many applications. Suppose I select this particular option, and I will now I can now provide if and else statement to check the conditions, and if certain condition is satisfied, the required command will be executed. So for that purpose, we use this slider button. Okay, so to make it simple, this session simple, I'm not providing further loops and further conditional statements, so that this session will be easy and interactive. Okay, so I am leaving the complex part right now, because this here I just want to show how to provide these buttons. Okay, now next is the radio button. Okay, so now to add your radio button, just drag it and resize it. Okay, so here the radio button are like the options. Suppose you have one option or several other options. So if you want to choose certain options, you can provide radio button. Okay, so again, when you provide a button, so you have to customize it accordingly. So say your string is option 1. Okay, option 1. The utility of this radio button could be, suppose you have 3 different functions. Suppose you are providing a program which can calculate the area of circle, which can calculate the area of rectangle, and which can calculate the area of, say, parallelogram. Okay, so there are 3 options. So in the first option, you can provide area of circle. In the second button, you can provide area of rectangle. In the third button, you can provide the area of parallelogram, like this. So whenever somebody hit the area of circle radio button, the program will calculate the area. Okay, so this is the utility of this radio button. So I have named it as option 1, and for the simplicity, you can also write it as tag it as option 1. But while tagging, remember that you cannot provide any spaces. Okay, do not provide any spaces. You can provide underscore, but do not provide any spaces. So write option 1 without any space. Okay, here in the string I can write it with the spaces or with any other symbols, but in the tags do not write it with the spaces. Okay, and now click the callback. So once you click the callback, it will go back to the editor option, and here in the editor option I can provide the options related to this. Okay, so to make it quick, I have already written some commands for the radio button. I just go back to these commands and I will copy it. Okay. Okay, my MATLAB is taking some time, so please be patient. Yes. So I want to copy my radio button commands. Okay, and I will demonstrate it. What is the meaning of these commands? Okay, so let me just copy it first, and then I will explain what is the meaning. Okay. Option 1, I am pasting it over here. Yes. So whenever, let me just provide another option also to make it more useful. I'm providing another option over here. Again, name it. Say it is option 2. Okay. Tag it. Say it is option 2 without spaces. And you can create a callback function also right now. So, okay, let's create a callback function. Now close it. And let me just also select the commands for radio button option 2. Okay, so find it option 2. Remember one thing, when you have a lot of buttons and lot of menus in your application, your editor window will get very bulky. Okay, there are several functions and there are several commands, so it will be very difficult to find the required function. So here, to navigate it fast, what you can do, just go over here. Here it is a option given go to. So click it, go to. Here all the functions are listed which are in this editor window. Okay, so you have GUI test function, GUI test open function, and other callback function. Option 1 callback, option 2 callback, slider 1 callback, and other various other functions. Okay, so you can navigate over here quickly. So I just click option 1 and I will be navigated to the option 1 callback. So it will be very fast to navigate it. Okay. Now in my option 1, what I have given, I have provided a structure named value, and within that structure there is a variable named radio button 1. So let me give it option 1 to make it simple. So here is a variable which is value dot option 1. So what I want to do with this, I want the option selected by the user, and the whatever will be the value provided by the user will be stored within this variable option 1 and within this structure value. Okay, so what are the two options? if user select option 1, if he selects it, okay, so it will return it as true, and true in binary means 1. So once the user select option 1, the value will be 1, and if he does not select option 1, the value will be 0. Okay, so there are only two values. If someone selects the option 1, it is 1, and if someone does not select option 1, it is 0. Okay, so if user selects, say, option 1, so this get h object value will get the value equal to 1 if someone selects it, and that 1 will be stored in this particular structure. Okay, I hope this is okay. Now moving on to next. Now my conditional statement is checking. Okay, before going to the conditional statement, I want to show you without the conditional, what will happen without the conditional statement. Okay, then it will be clear what will happen. Okay, just let me just rename all this, and then I will show what will happen without these conditional statements. Okay, then it will be easy to understand. I'm just renaming it to make it simple because I will share this script file with you, so it will be easy to understand. Okay, so just for the demonstration, I am hiding this conditional statement, if else statement. Okay, and I am just running it, and I am leaving this without semicolon intentionally to see what is happening. The command window. Let me clear the command window. Okay, let me resize it, and now going back to the GUI. Okay, so run it. When you run it, these options will appear. Okay, now I have two options, option 1 and option 2. Now see over here, if the user chooses this option, okay, if I choose this, okay, this will be selected. The answer should be 1. Okay, so you can see value dot option 1 means this structure value. Within this structure value, there is a variable name option 1, and the value of this is 1. If I deselect it, it should be 0. Okay, so you can say it is 0. So there are only two values, 1 or 0. If say I select this option 2, so it is option 2 equal to 1. If I deselect it, it should be 0. Okay. Now what will happen if user selects both? Both are selected. So both the options are 1. Okay. So if suppose you want the users to select both the options, then this type of programming is okay, where user can select multiple options. But if you want to restrict your user to select any one of the options, then you have to provide conditional statements. Okay, so here what is happening, that user can select both the options. Okay, but I don't want the user to select both the options. I want user to restrict it to the one option only. So for that purpose, I have provided these if and else statements. What these if and else statements are doing, these are restricting the user to select only one option. So what is happening over here? It is checking that whether this option 1 is 1. If it is 1, if this condition is true, okay. So I'm just, to make it simple, I have written over here yes, and it will, what will it will do? This command will set the option 2 to be 0. So option 2 will be deselected. Okay, option 2 will be deselected. It will not be selected. And if this value is not equal to 1, if it is 0, else, so it will jump back to over here and it will display no, and option 2 will be selected. Option 2 will be 1. Okay. So similar to this statement, I have provided the statement for the option 2 also. So I don't think there is a need to explain this again. I think it is very similar to the option 1. Okay, so now save it and then run it. Now let's see what is happening. Okay, let me increase this a little bit, clear the command. and see what is happening. Select this option. Okay, first this is deselected and this is selected. If I want to select this one, so what is happening? It is selected, it is deselected. Okay, suppose I want to select this option. This is deselected. Now I want to select it. I select it and this is deselected. So now it is okay with me because I want the user to select only one of the two. So if I select it, it will be deselected. So this is how you can create options or radio buttons in your GUI. Okay. Similarly, for the checkbox, you can also provide it checkbox and you can program it accordingly. Okay. So this the working of this checkbox is very similar to the radio button. So I'm not explaining it in detail. One of the very useful feature is adding the edit button. Edit field, rather we should say edit field. So this edit field, what it will do, it will take the values, it will ask the user to fill in some values. If you want the user to fill in some data, so you will provide edit button. Okay, so this edit button is very useful. So in this, I want to, now in edit button, if you want some already pre-existing text to be written, you can write something over here, or if you want it to be left it blank, just leave it blank. So I want it to be blank, so I am just putting it a blank over here and name it edit one. Whatever the tag you want to name, just name it. Okay, I am just leaving it to be edit one and I am providing the callback function. Okay, I have provided the callback function. Okay, right now I am leaving the function blank. I'm not writing anything. I'm just, let me provide another text, edit text. So similarly, you can provide multiple text to get the user data. Again, leave it blank. Give a callback function. I'm leaving the callback function to be blank right now. Okay. Now, suppose you want to add some information in your program. Suppose you want to add title, you want to add some info regarding this field. If suppose I want the user to know what is the use of this field. Okay. So what I will do, I will just write, I will just add a static button. Here it is a static button. Okay. So once you select this static field, not a button, it is a field. So static field, it will just write a text. Okay. So use, give it some name. Suppose you want radius to be entered. Okay. So write radius. Okay. You can also align your text. I want it to be in center. Okay. Or left or right or anywhere. Okay. And I want the user to provide this in meters, provide the radius in meters. Suppose I want to provide it over here. Provide in meter. So just write meter over here so that the user will understand that he has to provide the radius in meter. Okay, so provide meter over here. Okay. Just to save time, I am not bothered about the alignment of this text. Okay, this can be sorted out. Okay, you can very well select the alignment accordingly on the font size and font type. Okay, so I'm not wasting time in this formats. Okay, so now let me also provide this button also and provide this text and say this is the area. So area will be written over here. And area will be in meter square. So you can also provide the unit also. Okay, I'm not providing it right now. So just to show you quickly how to write the callback function. Okay, so just let me copy the commands. Copy the commands from here. Okay. No commands. So what this feature will do? Now you can see, hit the run button. You can see the newly created fields. Here the radius is, now whatever will be the value of the radius you want to provide, just provide it to, and it will be written. Okay. It will be written. Okay. So this is how you can get the data from the user. Okay. This is how you can get the data from the user. So user can write radius over here. Okay. Or any other data that you want to get from the user, that can be provided. Okay. Now there is pop-up menu. Many times we want to provide pop-up menus to provide various options for the users. So just double click it. When you double click it, you will find in the string, here in the string there is a catch. You have to write all the options that you want to provide. Okay. Suppose if in my pop-up menu I want to provide 3 options, or rather say 2 options. One is to provide linear plot. Okay, linear plot. Another is to provide parabolic plot. Okay, just to make it simple. So what I'm doing, I'm just writing the text over here. First I have written plot figure just to inform the user what is the function of this menu. Then hit enter. In the second line I have provided linear plot, and in the third line I have provided parabolic plot. You can write whatever options you want the user to give. Okay, so I just hit OK, and I'm not tagging it. I'm just taking the default tag and hit the callback function. Okay, so now you can see I'm just using the hints commands provided already over here. What I will do, I will store the value entered by the user in this variable contents. So whatever will be the option provided in the pop-up menu by the user, it will be stored in the contents in the form of a string. Okay, in the form of the string. And if you want to get the contents in the form of value, you can get from this command. Okay, so let me also write it. Okay, I'm writing both the commands. So this command contents equal to cell structure, this will returns the contents of the pop-up menu. So contents of the pop-up menu are 3: plot figure, linear plot, and parabolic plot. So all 3 should be mentioned in the contents variable. And this command contains this command at line number 218. this will return the option selected by the user. Okay, so let me check whether it is working properly or not. So, okay, I should hit enter first, hit run over here, and now this is activated. Okay, so let's see in the command window. Let me clear the command window. Okay, so you can see in the command window, if I select linear plot, so in the contents, all the contents will be given, and in this command is returning the selected option. Okay, so the selected option is linear plot. Okay, so accordingly you can switch your commands based on the option selected. Okay, so let me just quickly copy the commands from the pop-up menu. So I'm just copying it. Where is my program? Yes. Okay, remember here the switch choice. Okay, I should give it the name as choice equal to. Okay, I am hiding it. So this choice, the option selected by the user will be stored in this variable choice, and this choice will be then switched to the switch case statements. And if the choice is linear, so remember what are our choices? Choices were linear plot or parabolic plot. So I have to add plot again. So linear plot and parabolic plot. So if my choice is linear plot, so this will create a linear plot. For the linear plot to be created, I have given a equation 2x plus 5. Okay, just to demonstrate it. Okay, you can write complex commands, or you can write the whatever the functions or whatever the plots you want to display in the figure. Okay, I'm just taking a simple example as a linear plot, and I've just provided the square x square 2x square plus 5 for representing the parabolic plot. Okay, so let's see. Okay, what is happening now? Now let me select linear plot. But what is happening? You cannot see your figure. Okay, this figure is represented like this. Okay, so how to sort it out? In order to sort this out, what you should do, you should provide this function axis. Okay, so we will provide the axis. So just drag it over here. Okay, drag the axis and see now what will happen. Now the axes are on the GUI. Okay, so if I select linear, so linear plot will be represented. If I select parabolic plot will be represented. Okay, so this is how you can display your graphs and display your plots and work with the pop-up menu. Okay, now there are other buttons also. There are toggle buttons, there are tables, there are button groups, there are panels. Panels are used to create a panel like this. Okay, panel like this. Okay, so that's how you can create a panel. And button group is used to groups various buttons. If suppose you are having 3 buttons, okay, suppose this is one button, and there is another button, there is another button, there are number of buttons, 2-3 buttons. Okay, and you want to align all the buttons in a group, so you can use this button group. So now I want to demonstrate. I think up till here, everything should be clear. If there is any question, I can take some question. If there is any question, I can take some question, or I should continue. Is there any question? I tried to make this a little bit easy, but maybe it is boring you because it is slightly advanced.
So I think if participant have any question, they can write in the chat box in question answer session, or they can raise their hand. So we will unmute them, and they can ask the question.
Okay, so I think there are no questions. I should move on. Now, this is the GUI so far we have got. Okay. So now our GUI is still blank because it lacks some options over the top. It lacks some menus. Okay. So how to provide these type of menus? Okay, file, edit, and these icons. Okay. So to do that, what we should do? Go back to the GUI editor. Okay, this is the GUI editor. Go to the tools. Here in the tool, you will find menu editor. Okay, click on the menu editor. Now the first one is new menu. Okay, so if you want to create a new menu, you can create it over here. Okay, so I want to create a new menu. So this is the first menu. So I'm just making a menu like this, like in a MATLAB. So it should be file, edit, view, like this. So it should be file. So I name it as file. Okay. And I also tag it as file. Remember, in tag, do not provide any spaces. You can provide underscore, but do not provide any spaces. So I name it as file. Okay. And I want to create another menu, which is edit. So this is edit. Or rather, I just create another help. Okay. Help. Tag it as help. And if you click on the file, there are number of options: new, open, save, close, export, etc. So suppose here I want to create. So yes, so to create the sub menu, sub menu is menu within the menu. So to create it, click on the second icon. Okay, this will create a sub menu. So wherever you want to show your sub menu, just click on that. I want my sub menu to be under file. So I select file. I create this. And I name it as save. Okay, this will be save. And I also want to create another and name it as close. Name it as close. Okay, if I want other options, I suppose want export, I can also give export. Okay, export or import. Suppose I want to give import, so I can give import. Okay. Now also, I want the user to use the shortcuts. If suppose user press Control plus S, so Control plus S in many applications can be used to save your work. So I also want to provide that utility. So here in the accelerator, I can provide control plus S. So I can browse it and choose S. So whenever I press control plus S, this will trigger this function, and whatever the command given within this function, it will be executed. Okay, so I am also providing the utility control plus S. Okay. Similarly, in close, if the user press control plus Q, so I want, if the user press control plus Q, this close command should be executed. Okay. Similarly, for import, if the user press control plus I, so it will execute the import command. Okay. If I want a separator above this, see over here, you can find new open and a separator line. Then again, above export, there is a separator line. Then above preference, there is a separator line. So I want to provide separator line, so I can check. Okay, so it will provide a separator above the item import. Okay, and if I want that by default this option should be selected, if I want that by default when I click this file, this option will be selected, so I can also provide check mark this item. Okay, suppose over here you can see that when I click the layout, this snap to grid is already selected. I didn't select this snap to grid, but it is already selected. If I want, and similarly in view, you can see this show toolbar and show status bar is already selected. If I want similar options, I can also check this option. Okay. In the help, if I want a user to press control plus H, so the help will be executed. And in the help, you can see various examples and various manuals. So I also want to give manual, link to the manual. Okay, so I will give it in this help menu. Okay, so I press OK. So now let's see, run it, and you will see that in your command window, the options that you provided are now active. So when you click this file, here the save option is there with the shortcut control plus S, and close option is there with the option with the shortcut control plus Q, and also import. And when you click help, nothing is happening because I haven't provided any command in the help option. So now provide the help command. Okay, so let me just copy. Help. I'm copying it and I'm pasting it. So I have to find my help command. So go to and find the help command. So this is the help function. I have to paste my command. I'm pasting it. What this command will do, this will open a file which is located at this location. Okay, it is located at this location with the name 1.1 model generation .html. So to open this, you have to first create a file, an HTML file describing your program, which can help the user. Okay, so whenever you press the help, this file will be generated. So I have already created one help file. So when I click it, this help file should be opened. Okay. So now my help file is open now because I have provided the help menu. I have provided the help menu. Okay, so when I click the help, it is going to this callback function and it is executing this command. Okay, and the result is this page. So in this page, I have written a help for my program. So the user can very well understand by reading this file. Okay. You can also provide what will happen when the save button is pressed. So you can provide save commands also. And I will show you how to do all these. Okay. Okay, see what is happening when I am hovering over this help, this command is getting executed. Okay. Now, here in the pre-existing MATLAB window, you can see there are context menus also. There is a panel where you can find several icons. Okay, so I also want to provide this type of menu. Okay, so how to provide this? Come back to the editor, click on tools. Here you will find an option, tab order editor. Sorry, toolbar editor. Okay, so click on toolbar editor. This will open a toolbar editor window. Here already predefined tools are present. There is a new button similar to this. You can see the similar icon. So new button. So you can provide a new button. You have to just select it and add it. Okay, a new button will be created. You can provide an open button. You just select it and add it. So these are the pre-existing tools. So I just want to provide save button. So I add it. I want to provide print button. I can add it. You can see the layout over here. First, I provided the save button. So first icon is save. Second, I provided the print button. This is print. And I want the run button like this. Okay, whenever I click it, the program should be executed, should run. So I want this also. So there is no icon like this. You can find there is no icon like this. So what I will do, I will select this push tool and then click add. Okay. So here you can see the push tool is created and you can see the icon. Okay. The tag, I want to tag it as run. Okay. So tag it as run. I'm using capital RUN. Okay. To distinguish with the existing run function in the MATLAB. Okay, there is existing run function in the MATLAB, so I am just distinguishing it with a capital R. Tool tip string. Tool tip string is provided to just see what is happening over here. When I hover over this icon, there is a text which is displaying that run figure control plus T. So I also want, when I hover the mouse over the icon, this helping text should appear. So for that, this tool tip string is used. Okay, so I just write run. Yeah, run program. I can this print figure. For save, it is save figure. Okay, like this. Now here you can see still the icon is P. I don't like this icon. I want this to be like this arrow. So what I will do, I will click on edit. And in the edit, either I can design my own icon by just painting it like this, or I can import it. Okay, so either you can create it like just painting and writing, or you can import it. Just press import. Here in import, you can find several icons. So just choose the icon based on the function of your button. Okay, so here is the green arrow icon which I want. So just open it. and just press OK. So now my icon is created for the run command. Okay. So I press OK and I run it. Now you can see in my application, GUI application, you can find all the icons. Okay. But nothing will happen when I click it. Okay. Nothing will happen. Only print figure will work and save will work. Save will also not work. Only print figure will work. But run will not work because there is no command associated with the callback function. So we have to associate it with the callback function. Okay. So So is there any question up till here? I can take some questions also. What I'm doing right now is I am providing a function named save state. What this function will do, this function will save the values provided in this box, in these fields. Okay. So whatever will be the values in these fields, those values will be saved. Okay. So for that I have written these commands. Okay. This is very easy to understand. You can see this command I have just taken from the, since this is edit one field, so go to the edit one field, go to edit one callback. In edit one callback, in the hints you can find that get object string returns contents of the edit one as text. So if you want to know the contents of edit one as text, it will be this command. And if you want to know the contents of the edit one as a double, okay, as a number, as a double, so use this command, structure to double this. Okay, h object string. So just there is a minor thing to note over here is that instead of using h object, okay, in the main function, in the main callback function, you can see here it is written that structure to double get h object. Okay, but over here I have written handles dot edit one. So handles, remember each function has some handles and have some objects. So in handles, remember that is the data is stored in the handles. So whatever will be the data, it is stored in the handle. So to extract that data, you have to call back the handles. Okay, so that's why I have called the handles for edit one is edit one field, edit one callback. Okay, so it will return the value stored in this handles with the tag edit one. Okay, and it will be stored in save state edit one. Similarly for edit two, this, and I have saved both the variables in a single file which is named as data.mat. Okay, so data.mat will save this structure. Okay, so whenever I call this function save state, it will come to these commands and the data will be saved. So I want this function in my saved. So when I press save, when I press this, it should come over here. Okay, so how to do that? So just write save state handles. So write save state handles. Okay, So when I press save, it will call save state handles and it will jump back over here and it will save the data. Okay. Let me also copy the run. So go to run. Hit run. Create run. Okay, here, why I couldn't find run, here you can see there is no callback function associated with this run. So in order to create a callback function, I should click here view. So when I click view, it will come to the run callback. Okay. So now this function is created and I will just write the paste, rather I will paste all the commands. Okay. So let us see what this command is doing. Let me write 20, okay, and press run. So when I press run, I am missing in the command r is equal to save state, called save state. Save state, there is nothing in the okay, what is happening over here is I haven't defined save state here. Okay, so I have to define save state. Okay, so I have to define save state dot edit one, and so better to make it like this. What I'm trying to do, I am trying to associate the radius with this variable r. Okay, so how to associate the radius with this variable r? In order to do that, we just need the contents of the edit one field. Okay, so to extract the content of the edit one field, we just need to copy this command. Okay, so just copy this, paste it. Okay, so now the contents of the edit one will be stored in R, and then the area will be calculated. Area is equal to pi r square. And what other command will do, it will be shown like this. C. Write 20 and press run. Okay, sorry. Also, I have also not set the values to edit to. I have to set the values to edit. Yes. Now you can see when the radius is 20 and you press run, what is happening? The area is equal to 1256.64 meter square. And earlier, the the condition of this field was that it was a blank field. Now what is happening when the answer is displayed, this is getting disabled. Okay, this is getting disabled. Now I cannot edit this field. Okay, so you can do this whenever you want to disable your field. You just have to write this command, set handles to the field, whatever the edit field you want to. So here the edit field is 2. Okay, this is the second edit field. The second edit field. So handle dot edit to enable off. So I have enabled it as off. So that's why it is disabled over here. And I have associated the value of area, whatever will be the value of area, it is set to that value. Okay, so that's why it is displaying the value of area over here. So this is how you can display your results in the text field. Okay. So I have so far discussed most of the features. What are the features you can provide in your application, and what are the how to provide toolbar and how to provide menu in your application, GUI applications, while building the applications. Okay. Another thing is that if you come to menu editor, you will find another option which is context menu. Context menu is used when you right click an object. Okay, suppose you right click this. Okay, right click this figure. Now when you right click this figure, nothing is happening because you haven't provided any function related to this right click feature. Here on the OK button, you provided one function. When you right click it, it should display the designation, or it should display right click. Here it is displaying right click. Okay, so here you have provided, but and not everywhere you have provided the right click utility. So context menu is used. You can provide a context menu. Suppose when you press right click, a print option should be there. Okay, when you press right click, a print option should be there. So you can provide print. Okay, another, you can provide print. You can provide, say, copy. Okay, so and various other options you can provide while right clicking. So I'm just providing two options. You can provide the callback function to this. Okay, so just okay. I'm just trying to show how to provide the right click functions. Okay, so when you edit the callback, okay, and provide the commands, it will do the job. Okay, so I will not write the commands. I will just show how to enable right click. Okay, so suppose you want the right click features to be enabled on the graph. So double click it. On the double click, come on the option where the context menu is. Yes, here. Here you can find UI context menu. So select this UI context menu. Here you will find the options you have just created. You created print option and you created copy option. So you can provide any of the options when you right click the. Suppose when you right click it, it should print. So you just select the print, and when you right click it, okay, it will execute the print command. Okay, so this is how you can provide the right click function. So this is how you can build a GUI. So for the demonstration, I have already created an application with the name DAMCAD. Okay, so this application DAMCAD, it is just plot a DAM profile, a typical section of a DAM profile. The coordinates to plot the DAM profile are provided by the user. Okay, so now let's see how this program works. Okay, I am just clicking the run. When I run it, here is the window that is displayed. Here I have provided many options. In the file menu, I have provided save, I have provided close, I have provided export, I have provided the help, I have provided print and run menu. And this is a title, and these are the other titles. Okay, this is the group button function which I was showing over here, button group. Okay, so in order to group the buttons, you can use this. So I have used a button group over here. Okay, these are the edit fields and these are the static text. Now when you run this, now nobody can understand what to do with this window. Okay, so to understand it, just go to help, click model generation. When you click model generation, you will find a help file. This file will help you to navigate through the application. Okay, so now here, this is the meaning of all the name of all the vertices. Okay, so A is this, B is this, C is this, and up to G. These are the X coordinate, these are the Y coordinates. So if you provide the values, X and Y values, you can plot the DAM figure. So I have one example to demonstrate. Suppose the value of the coordinate X and Y coordinate of this A is the origin. So give it 0 and 0. Okay. In the B coordinate, this is slightly on the right side. If it is vertical, so there will be no X coordinate, there will be only Y coordinate. But here I have chosen a translation of say 5 meter in the X direction, and vertically it is 10 meter. Okay. For C, it is X5 and it is 100. For D, it is 10 meter, X is 10. So this width is 10. Okay, this CD is 10. Sorry, not 10, only 5, because C is 5, X is 5. So it is 5 meter and Y is 100. For E, it is vertically downward. So the X coordinate remains the same. So it will be 10, and Y coordinate, say this vertical downward is 10 meter. So give it 10. Sorry, 100 minus 90, 100 minus 10 is equal to 90. So this is 90. F is this toe. So toe is at X coordinate 50 and Y is 0. And G is X is 5 and say Y is 0. Okay. So when you navigate further, read this help manual. Okay, this will tell you how to run this application. So to run this application, just press run. Okay, so first is, it is saying that data saved successfully. So okay, data is saved. Just so what is doing, it is plotting the section which I have just given the coordinates. Okay, it is plotting that section. So this is the section of this DAM which I have provided. Okay, this is A, this is B, C, D, E, F, and here it is directly below this, it is G. Okay, now it is saying click next to proceed. Okay, come over here. If I want to proceed further, I can click next. If I want to restore the data, I can click restore. If I want to reset the data, I can click reset. Okay, and further other options are here. So if suppose I want to reset all the values, I just click reset and all the values are reset. If I want to restore the values, I just click restore and all the values are restored. Okay, so whenever I click this button, what is happening? The MATLAB is going to the callback function. Okay, so callback function associated with this button restore, the callback function associated with this reset. So whenever a button is pressed, it is going to this reset. Suppose I have clicked on the restore. So whenever I click restore, it is coming to this callback function and it is executing this command, restore state handles. Now restore state handles is a function that I have defined to restore all the values. So come to the restore state handles. So find out restore state. Okay, there is restore state. So in this function, I have written this commands to restore all the values. Okay, so this command is actually checking. I just give a idea of this first command. What is doing? It is first it is loading the values. Okay, so the values are loaded in this mat. Okay, in this data file. Okay, so it is loading this. After loading it, it is checking if this state damp cad dot edit one means within the variable edit one. Not audible. Am I not audible?
No, you are definitely audible. Maybe some connection at the participant end.
Other participants can also write in their chat box if I am not audible. Yeah, so I guess I'm audible. Okay, so it is checking that whether it is nan. Nan means not a number. Okay, nan in MATLAB means not a number. So it is checking whether it is a number or not. If it is not a number, okay, then what will happen? It will go to the else. Okay, and it will set set the values. And if it is not a number, then what it will do? It will set it as a blank field. Okay. Okay. If the value stored in this variable is not a number, is any complex value, is any other than the number, so it will set the field to the blank. And if it is some value, some number, then it will just copy that number to the field. So all these commands are repeated for different edit field, for edit 1, 2, 3 and so on. Okay, so this is how this program, this function is written, restore state. Okay, so what will happen when I click next? So suppose I click next. So when I click next, it is asking me, so do you want to save changes? If I want to save changes, I press yes. And if I press yes, it will go back to the function and it will switch accordingly. Okay. If I press no, if I press cancel, it will switch the conditional statement accordingly. So suppose if I press yes, let's see what is happening. It is saving the data. Okay. And if I press OK, it is moving to the next page. Okay. So this is again another page that I have created. I will not demonstrate all this because this is a very lengthy process. So I will not demonstrate it. I have just created, demonstrated how to create a similar page. Okay. Where you can have all the pop-up menus, where you can have a plot like this, where you can have all the edit fields and a set of buttons. Okay. And these icons. So this is how you can create this type of application. So here you can, from the pop-up menu, you can select vertical, you can select incline, you can select other options like this. Okay, so let me go back. I don't want to save. Okay, I'm coming back. So when I come back, all my data is gone. So I just restore it. Okay, so this is the program Damcat. The all the commands are written in this Damcat editor. Okay, so I think with this I conclude my lecture. I end my lecture. If there is any question regarding this lecture, I will be happy to answer if there is any query.